Jack Van Findu. For 2 months I trained the Knights of the Comet. For 2 more I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through limbo. But nothing has made me quiver more than seeing your face here today. Oh, that I could touch you in flesh, run my hands across your skin. I can feel you, even taste you in this form. But it is as if a thin layer of glass separates us. I can't quite have the whole of you. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure my projection. Worth every one of those days and every drop of their sweat, I promise you. But soon I'll find some way to see you in flesh, to touch you as you were meant to be touched. Shractalor. Let's say both. I can't imagine a greater pleasure than Vlaakith's unmaking. Shractalor is the capital of the Githzerai, an exiled people, once kin with mine until the madness of civil war ripped out one sky into 2. Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to their god king Zareth Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance. Exactly the reaction I expected, my love.
Love. The word hangs in the air for a moment, before Lae'zel continues, unfazed.
My blade is keen as ever, but it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm. Soon, when the comet has risen, when the Lich Queen has crumbled to dust, I miss this place. More to the point, I miss you. I wouldn't even deny it with Vlaakith's vorpal blade at my neck. Though, I'd rather it not come to that. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. I'll be back one day. The Overgod himself couldn't keep me away. It's nice to hear it.
Limbo, she'd said. A plane of chaos where you might drink fire like water, where you might breathe ice instead of air, and the home of the mystical Githzerai. Once the Githzerai were one of the Githyanki, until bloody civil war severed them.
A bit. But that I can be in your presence at all is a wonder of its own. We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zareth Minyaragith.
Zareth Menyar Agith. You've heard the name. The immortal god king of the Githzerai, and the ruler of their capital, Shractalor.
I do. I approach the gates of Shractalor even now. It has taken all of Orpheus's efforts to conjure our projections here, and all of mine to convince him to let us come. Worth it, I'd say. Right here, right now. There's no other place I'd sooner be. Enjoy your night, chatter away. For tomorrow, we face Zareth Menyar. No need to pretend. I know the word means little to you. Shractalor is the capital of the Githzerai, an exiled people, once kin with mine until the madness of civil war ripped out one sky into two. Sometimes. But I don't need the Githzerai to fight for us, just with us. Menyar is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. He is also a near deity. Should the Githzerai join us, we could topple the City of Death in a red dragon's blink. You'd know better than anyone, my love. Soon I'll find some way to see you in flesh, to touch you as you are meant to be touched. I need you. And when the comet has risen, we will be forever together, as surely as Kalir will forever circle the sun. Sometimes, but I don't need the Githzerai to fight for us, just with us, love. Zahn is with the mages of Samvad Dim. I trust his care to no one else. Zahn's destiny will be his own to follow. Warrior, poet, explorer, scholar. His way will be the way of the comet. No chains to bind us, no lies to bury us. Liberty will be the rallying cry that unites our empire. I was as surprised as anyone when Orpheus spoke the order, my love. I know the feeling all too well. I suppose it is, rather. I'm just glad to be here at all. Let's make the most of the moment, I say. May I kiss you? I understand. I can touch and feel in this form, but it is as if a thin layer of glass separates us. I wouldn't have the whole of you. And to you, source of my joy. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. A bit. It's taken a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure my projection. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Fey Run. You might as well ask if the stars will ever snuff out, or Avernus freeze over. A consideration for the far future. For now, I don't want the Githzerai to fight for us, just with us, my love. Not mad, my love. Pragmatic. Yisk Githkar Tavki Crashhead Shalak. Not all of us can play the weave like a lyre, Gale. Orpheus may be Prince of the Comet, but he is not a god. Seeing Grand Duke Will Ravengard brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. But nothing has made me quiver more than seeing your face here today. Tentacles and all. And sometimes, a bewitching smirk and quip gets the job done, Astarian style. And to think you once held a blade to my throat. Not that I could blame you. This is nice. Yes. I think that's the right word for it. Chuk. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head. Were it not for you, I might not have known the value of partnership, connection. I found new allies now. New friends. People I trust and who trust me in return. We've heard word of a Githyanki outpost hidden deep in Chult, the last of Vlaakith's Sword Coast strongholds. We mean to slay every last Sarth and Kithrak. I thought perhaps you'd care to join us. You always did have a great fire in your belly. I'm glad to see you have kept it kindled. Now go, mingle while you can. That's the word, right? Mingle? There is plenty of time yet for slicing scalps and tasting blood. Right you are. Not every night is for spilling blood. I shouldn't be so callous as to spoil the quiet pleasures of this one. Disappointing. But I won't argue. My heart has no room for new grudges. I won't be far. Not tonight. Not ever. Love. Until I knew you, I thought the mere idea a joke. A weakness indulged only by lesser species. You proved me a fool. I am forever grateful. A taste I will never grow tired of. I don't suppose you'd consider fleeing the Hells and joining us there to slay every last Sarth and Kithrak. Your loyalty to her knows no bounds, nor, it seems, does your fortitude. You say stuck, and still you stay. Your devotion to Karlach knows no bounds, nor, it seems, does your fortitude. You impressed me from the beginning, you know. It was my own foolish pride that ever kept me from admitting it, to you or myself. I just wanted you to know that. We'll meet again. The Hells are too small to contain a soul as tremendous as yours. Ah, well, a harsh no is as reasonable an answer as any. I wasn't always the most gracious ally. But there's something I'd have you know. You impressed me from the beginning. I have not heard tell of him, nor has my mind felt his presence. It seems Gith's son has been lost to the shadows. Perhaps one day, he will step into the light. Of course, I have complete trust in our newest allies. Zaan is in fine hands tonight. What a wonder he is. He will be a fine warrior, if he chooses. Or a poet, or an explorer, or a scholar. I was afforded a destiny of my own choosing. When he comes of age, it is only right I give Zaan the same. Jacques von Findur. When you bid me to stay in Faerun, to vanquish Vlaakith assassins, I was hoping I might do so at your side. But I respect that you chose as you did. Tell me you've kept count of your kills at very least. Feisty indeed, if it troubled a warrior as seasoned as you, and as exquisite. The thought of you, sweaty from battle, it is all I can do not to ravish you here and now. Perhaps we might find time later for a bit of indulgence. Later, then, when the music has died down and our friends' eyes have gone half-lidded. Well, it is time you start counting your corpses. I'll expect a detailed accounting when I next see you. Huh. Worried yours can't compare. Very well. 2 Sword Coast strongholds of 60 of the Queen's loyalists each, a raiding camp of 20, and 8 minor scouting parties. In all, 12 Sarth and 2 Kithraki have fallen to my blade. As you wish. I do hope it leads to surprises. Pleasant, steamy surprises. You. The one who took Orpheus from me. The one who condemned the Githyanki people to slavery. I slayed Vlaakith's hunters in the cliffs of Sword's Teeth and the wetlands of Lizard Marsh. Part of me believes the Geich before me should meet the same fate. The truth is, I'm glad to see you. I wouldn't even deny it with Vlaakith's Vorpal blade at my neck. Though, I'd rather it not come to that. Of course, there are ways you might make amends. I've got wind of a Githyanki outpost hidden deep in Cholt, the last of Vlaakith's Sword Coast strongholds. I say we sneak in under cover of night. We slit every last throat, and you feed until your belly's full. A Githyanki leading a Geich to feed on her own people. Not even the greatest Senjasi could have conjured such a vision. I thought watching you slay Vlaakith's hunters in the cliffs of Sword's Teeth might be the month's pinnacle. But I was wrong. Being right here, with you, is an infinitely greater pleasure. Alas, I can only rest so long. I've got wind of a Githyanki outpost hidden deep in Cholt, the last of Vlaakith's Sword Coast strongholds. I mean to slay every last Sarth and Kithrak, and I mean for you to join me. I suppose you're right. We have seen too much black and red these last months. Wakeen Tide is to start soon in Waterdeep, as I understand it. You are due a hometown celebration, a gust of bright colors among familiar streets. A 10-day of good wine, good music, and the best company. Yours. A god stoops to walk among us. Perhaps you might join us. Help us raze it to the ground. Put those godly powers to good use. Of course, mortals are meant to worship and obey. What other role might they possibly play in the life of a god? Well, why don't you go and mingle? That's the word, right? Mingle? If you so deign to speak with your lessers, that is. Pray to you. Chuk. Of course you must. What good is a mortal to a god if she dares not offer fealty? I suppose to you, mortals are meant only to worship and obey. What other role might they possibly play in the life of a god? That's my strapping girl. Burning hot, but not too hot, praise withers. It's incredible, isn't it? To be anywhere but sizzling in the hottest of hells. I've slaughtered more fiends in the last month than I thought swarmed the whole of Avernus. And still you best me at every turn. I could build a fortress the size of Castle Susurrus, with all the horns you've ripped from rampaging Orthons. It's time. You deserve your freedom from the fires. I can't believe it's almost in reach.
You think back on the Cambion you slayed a 10-day ago. It carried a map with directions and blueprints for Zariel's own private forge. The current plan? Sneak in, grab a smith, and force him to repair or replace your heart so you can live outside Avernus.
Dear Karlach, I thought slicing through the wings of a pit fiend would be the pinnacle of my month. But seeing you here tonight, your eyes so bright, your smile so wide, nothing could bring me more joy than that. My story is yours now, Karlach. It may never be written in the Githyanki slates, but it will be legendary all the same. My hopes are only ever as strong as the woman standing before me now. Maybe there's no forge. Maybe we find a party of pit fiends or 100 chain devils waiting for us. So what? We'll slice them into chunks like all the others. And then we carry on through the fires until we see blue sky again. By Mother Gith's blade, I wish you could join us. I'll save the bloodiest Sarth scalp from the heap, just for you. And yet you live. Zariel could never hope to slaughter a soul as tremendous as yours. I'm proud of you. Always was. Zahn is safe. Don't you worry that horned head of yours. Besides, if anyone so much as looked at him funny, I know you'd turn them to blood chunks. Something in his eyes tells me he'll take after you more than me. A Hell's Hunter with a graceful soul and a burning heart. Perhaps Shah's most favored daughter would care to join us. You always did have a great fire in your belly. I'm glad to see you have kept it kindled. To think there was a time when we were at each other's throats. I understand. I need you, my love. But they need you even more. I'll set off on my own tomorrow. Look out for me 2 months from now. I'll return to your arms, as surely as Kalir will forever circle the sun. Understood. A Grand Duke's duties extend beyond gutting Githyanki assassins. I need you, but the city needs you more. If Mizora lets you off her leash, that is. Your endless charms are exceeded only by your endless appetite, Sistarian. Just be sure to keep me on the menu. Would you look at that? I thought slicing through the wings of a pit fiend would be the pinnacle of my month. But seeing you brings me more pleasure than gutting every last hell fiend of Avernus. I'm glad to know it. I learned much from my time with you in Faerun. For instance, that battle is more brutal, and the celebration after more glorious, with a fiery companion at your side. Never. I couldn't wish for a life more furious, more bloody, and more fitting for a Gith warrior, or a battle partner as mighty as Karlach. She bests me at every turn. I could build a fortress the size of Castle Susurrus with all the horns she's ripped from rampaging Orthons. But Avernus may not be her forever home. There's a chance... well, you should speak with her yourself if you haven't already. My story is Karlach's now. It may never be written in the Githyanki slates, but it will be legendary all the same. So it has, and a fine man the hatchling will be. I call him Zaan, Freedom. And before you ask, yes, he is safe. I keep him secure in a portable hole, and have torn new openings into every fiend that's wandered anywhere near. It won't be long before he's doing the tearing, if that's what he wishes. I was afforded a destiny of my own choosing. When he comes of age, it is only right I give Zaan the same. Ah, a curmudgeon tonight, are we? Is that the right word, curmudgeon? Well, like it or not, I learned much from my time with you in Faerun. For instance, that battle is more brutal, and the celebration after more glorious, with a fiery companion at your side.